I've heard, especially higher level titles, if you're targeting an intent account where it looks like there's a need, you do need to do a little bit more qualifying to make sure they're not a swag goblin that's just coming in to take the gift card, the Star Wars drink set, or the AirPods, whatever it may be, that there's a genuine interest there. And that's like asking and taking that next step of the BDR to ask about timeline. They sell a little bit harder on, I see these pains, here's how we fix them. All that being said, there's been a couple of times now where I've heard calls and the decision maker gets on the call and is like, listen, I get all these emails all the time. Your product looks cool, and I've never had anyone thank me for my time before. So honestly, I was kind of intrigued that you were actually interested in thanking me for my time with a gift, and I'm willing to hear what you have to say. It does depend on your persona. So Star Wars drink set, we have a Baby Yoda Star Wars drink set. It's IT security people love it. They love it. They really do. I'm not a Star Wars girl, so I don't. It is cute though. I'm a fan of Baby Yoda, and honestly, who's not a fan of Baby Yoda? So that one's worked pretty well, as well as AirPods. Not the crazy new ones, but a Gen 2 or Gen 3. That also has been working really well. But I think my favorite is Baby Yoda because it's a good conversation starter too. Hey, did you get you can see that they open your email a bunch of times, calling them and saying hey, send me the Baby Yoda email. You see that? It's funny, and I had one of my reps actually yesterday called the guy and he's like, yeah, I saw your email. It's Baby Yoda, right? And it's just a good convo starter. And they're not always going to look like that, like when you call them, but it's different. I mean, I haven't been offered a Baby Yoda, so. We started with Yetis. Yetis was our first thing that we started with, and then everyone else also wanted to get about Yetis. So we've had to get creative, and thankfully our ABM team and Sendoso to kind of give us the room to be creative with ideas like that, thinking about holidays or Super Bowls or doing wagers or alma maters. It just gives us a lot of room to personalize the gifts or always research trends for gifts for prospects. We have templates built out. I coach my reps to only send it to high intent accounts. I don't want them sending gifts to lower intent accounts that may. There's a chance that they're interested in that. Well, we've also seen lower conversion rates, deals falling off when we don't target those purchase accounts or high intent accounts. So I have a Salesforce. I contact you for them in Salesforce so they can sort by what they actively have sequenced, sort by, or sort it by the intent score. It won't be able to reflect Zoom info intent, so they'll have to know that off the top of their head or just know what their top accounts are to go in and bulk send it. But they'll be able to see who they actively have sequenced and bulk send it. I also highly recommend Manager Plus titles. Unless it's a lean IT team or a lean team that you're targeting and the senior system administrator has been there for a while, that might be a good person because he's a great champion, has been there for 8 years plus whatever. If you see an IC that's been there for a while in a lean team, might be worth reaching out. But typically I'm coaching my reps to send to manager above the large organization, the higher the title. Typically not C-levels though, because especially at larger orgs, because they're not too much in the weeds and they're not necessarily the direct decision maker, even though they're the ones signing the check. So you just have to also use that in your qualification. Like, who else needs to be involved in this conversation when you are gifting? So you do send it to a manager. Like, who else wants to be involved? Did you need anyone else on this call? Happy to offer this, send this to them as well. But what other key stakeholders do we need in on this conversation where you take the next step and qualify?